Hey everyone, it's Cajun DIY Diva, and we are going to make a very special men's shirt apron today. We are going to do a Slytherin apron, and so these are the things I have to use. You know, I'm a big Harry Potter geek, and my daughter likes Slytherin house the best. I'm a little bit more of a Huffleclaw type, so but I thought I would do a Slytherin since that's what she really likes. So what we have is a men's collared shirt, button-down shirt in white. Okay, you could maybe get away with a gray one if you wanted to, but white ones are really easy to come by. If you don't have one already, you could get one at a thrift store for pretty cheap. What I have right here is a piece of velvet. It's kind of crinkly. I kind of like that. I think it's going to go good with the theme. Looks kind of gothic, like Hogwarts Castle, you know, like what robe fabric might be made out of. And then I just have some assorted trims. So, like, you know, see what you have around the house, because you might have something that you can use to do this project. I have some green ribbon. It's not the exact same green, so I'm probably going to use this for the tie-backs, but I'm not going to use it in the front because it's not the exact same green. So this is all my things that I'm going to use to make this, and I'll show you how we get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do for our shirt apron is to cut off the sleeves of the shirt. I'm going to just cut them off very close to the seam line. And I'm going to cut at the side seams, and I want to cut towards on the back side, but really close to the side seams. This makes a French seam. That's the nice thing about these shirts. And if you snip really close and just kind of pull the threads and then snip them away, that seam will never unravel because it's a good, strong, double enforced seam. So let me do the other side. Oh, and I just cut off the tag, and there's 2 extra buttons. You need extra buttons for anything. Now, if you really wanted to, you could just make tie-backs out of the back of the shirt. Okay, so now I have the shirt, and what I want to do is cut in a diagonal line from just under the armhole, and cut just a diagonal line going straight up, and leave about an inch or so around extra from the collar seam. So I'm not going to do this really perfect. Doesn't have to be. That's a great thing about this project, is it doesn't have to be that perfect. Okay, so there you see I'm about an inch or so from the collar seam, and I'm just going to go around it now. And now what I want to do is fold the shirt over on itself, and I want to line up the bottoms and the sides so that I can do this exactly like the two sides will be exact, because I'm using the first side I cut as the template. So I'm just gotta get it right, and then it will be good. And there we go. So now you can see how I can cut it exactly matching. Can you see that? Let me make sure. Yeah. I know it's white on a white table. It might be a little hard to see, but I just lined them up, and I'm just going straight along. Okay. So now here's what we have. This is normally the front of the apron. So now what I want to do is I'm going to kind of like simulate the vest. And someone's texting me. So I have my piece of black velvet. I have this nice size piece, and what I'm going to do is put the shirt over it, and I'm going to see if this works. I haven't really tried this before. We'll see if it works. So I'm going to come all the way up, make the collar right about even with the top, with the edge of the black velvet. Okay, so I'm going to cut along this edge. Just kind of, I want it to line up with it and be kind of perfect so that I can fold that right over the edge and it's going to look right. And I'm going to do this side. So this, on this side I have to cut from, I'll just cut from the side here. I'll just make a little hole with my scissors. And this is a little bit crooked on the shirt, but that's not going to matter. And then I'm just going to cut down the sides with this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I cut through the black velvet and the shirt. I wanted to make a straight edge along the bottom of the shirt, and now I'm going to finish cutting up the side. And like I said, I'm kind of doing this as I go, and I'm kind of just creating this project as I go to see what happens. So now we have a piece that's of the velvet. So now we're going to switch the velvet, and we're going to cut a neck hole out of the velvet. Okay, so I took the shirt out from underneath, and I took my velvet and folded it in half, and I'm just kind of eyeballing where I think the V should come to, and I'm just using a little bit of chalk and making a little mark. I'm going to lay it on top of the shirt and line up the armholes, the sides, up, and then I'm just going to kind of figure out where I want my cut to be, and I think I want it about right there. So I want the sweater to be under the collar, kind of, and hopefully this works. So on each side, under the collar, and let's see. Of course, I just dropped my piece of chalk, so let me get that, and I'll be back. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it, but here's my mark, and what I did was I drew a diagonal line up to my slits in the collar, and so that's going to make my V-neck for my neckline for the little, this is like the little sweater that's there. That's what the black part's going to be. So I'm just going to cut it along the lines. After I cut it, if it doesn't look exactly right, I can trim it a little bit. I'm also going to add trim, and that's going to make it, you know, straighten up and look good. Now let's see if this worked. Okay, so what we're going to do is make this go under the collar, up here, and this is going to be the V-neck, and I'm going to hem these seams, and then this is what we're going to use these different trims for. So I think I might just use this trim. This is just something, I got this whole roll for like $1, and I'm going to do just a nice little edge like that, and tie's going to go right here. So one thing, I do need to hem all these edges. I'm just going to fold them under. I'm going to zigzag the edges and then fold them under. But right here, you can't just fold this under. You have to make a little slit of about ½ an inch or so, and that slit allows you to turn it under. So I'm going to hem up all these edges, and what I'm going to do is take the black and actually fold it over the white and sew it, and that is going to be that side, the hemmed edge. So I'm going to sew these edges, and I'll be back. Okay, so I just wanted to show you what I did. I did a small zigzag stitch on the edge just so this velvet won't unravel, and I did it on the side seam where we cut the diagonal. I did it up the side. Let's move this so you can see. Up the side, and then the diagonal, which goes up to the collar. I did it on the neck and up the other side. So now I'm going to pin it to the shirt, and I'll show you what it looks like pinned, and then we're going to sew it. Okay, I've got it all pinned, so I want to show you what I did. On the underside, I pinned it up the sides and up the diagonal toward the collar. Then I also pinned right here on this open part, just pinned it under. So I'm going to sew that under, and the same thing on this side. So, and then when we get toward the bottom, you can kind of see the shirt. I'm going to trim off these extra edges because I'm going to sew a little something on the bottom here. So I'm just going to make it even across the bottom, and then we'll sew some extra embellishments. on the bottom. So now I'm going to go to my sewing machine and get this all stitched. And then probably while I'm doing this, I can also go ahead and do my tie backs. And what I'm going to do is sew them right here, right where the diagonal turns, right there. And the best thing for you to do is to, can you see that? Sew it. Sew it right there, right where the corner is, right there. And I'm going to sew it to the back and just stitch it back and forth several times. And you do about 1.5 foot long piece for a tie back. You don't need it to be too long, just long enough so that you can tie it in a bow and have a little extra hanging down. So I'm going to do all this and I'll be back. Okay, I just realized as I was sewing the neckline that before I hem the sides and have the shirt completely attached to the white shirt, the vest attached to the white shirt, I should go ahead and put my trim on first. So what I'm going to do is sew this trim right here onto my vest part. Then after I sew it on both sides like this, then I'm going to do the side seams and the rest of the stitching. Okay, so I sewed everything I said I was going to sew. The trim is on here. I sewed the side seams. I tacked on the ribbon tie backs. You can see that here. And you could pretty much be finished with this project right now if you wanted to, just hem the bottom. But I think what I want to do is add another little bit of decoration to this project. So what I'm going to do right here is just trim the white shirt to be even with the bottom. And if you wanted to, you could just cut the white shirt off higher up underneath, almost like turning the shirt into a dickie. I happen to have, I didn't go out and buy this, so the only thing I really went out and bought for this project was the green ribbon. I already had the trim. So see what you have around your house, and maybe you could do a project like this without spending any money. So we'll push this up. I happen to have this gray ribbon, which is like one of the Slytherin colors. Is like the Slytherin is the green and the gray, so this or silver, so this gray lace right here kind of works with it. So I think what I'm going to do is sew this on the bottom, and then I might add another little bit of trim, just like I used for the neck, to go right over the seam to kind of complete that transition. Maybe I'll even do like two rows of the lace. Let's see, because that would make it just extra cute. So I'm going to go sew this on the bottom there, and I'll be back. Alright, so here's my finished apron. Got the lace sewn on with the trim. Got the tie backs. And the finishing touch is the Slytherin necktie. So I had my husband tie the tie. If you don't know how to tie a tie, you can, certainly find a YouTube video that will show you how. And this neckties are available on eBay. You can find them for really cheap, like 99 cents. So I'm just going to put it around the collar, flip the collar up, And I think what I'm going to do is tack it on there so that it stays in place. Because you don't want the tie really sticking out of the back of the collar. You want it to be inside, just like that. Can you see that? You don't want the tie really showing in the back. And then just take it, tuck it on the inside, and then you can button the shirt back up after you put it on over your head. Just smooth out that tie. You can even tack this under part straight onto the button row just to make it perfect. If you have a button-down collar, make sure the buttons are done. And this is a fun project. I've had fun doing this. You know, this isn't serious sewing. This is just having fun with a project. And these are the kind of things I like to do as far as sewing, because you can just really have fun with them. So just fix that. Once you have it around your neck, you can tighten up that tie better. But there you have it. It's a Harry Potter apron. So this is Cajun DIY Diva. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll put a link down below to, I have a regular men's shirt apron video that I will post for you. So it's a very popular video. So if you just want to learn how to just make a men's shirt apron, you can watch that one. But this has been a fun Harry Potter apron video, and thank you for watching. Bye.